I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special.
I say there's nothing to do, but damn, like, I mean, what else do you gotta do? he's a 3-time undisputed champion.
Hey man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So skillful, yes, but this and this.
Fighters feel uneasy facing Terence Crawford for many wild reasons. Roy Jones Jr. even said that Canelo seemed tense when standing across from him during their face-off. What makes Crawford intimidating goes beyond pure talent. It's his composure while analyzing every move. He's rarely hit cleanly and makes rivals pay instantly with flawless timing, leaving them convinced there's no possible path to victory.
In that stare down that we talked about, when I told you either he's not ready for this or he trying to little boy Bud. He wasn't trying to little boy Bud. He really was afraid. Well, not afraid, but he was worried about Bud. And Bud knew that. And Bud being the older guy, Bud kind of looked him in his eye and made him turn away first. That was a victory for Bud. That was Bud's first victory. Anytime that happens, if something else don't come around or something else don't happen to undo that, you got a problem.
Paulie Malignaggi emphasized how Terence Crawford has put together one of the greatest resumes in boxing. He became undisputed champion 3 separate times, a rarity in the sport today. He achieved it by challenging elite opponents rather than choosing soft fights. What struck Paulie most wasn't just the victories, but how Crawford consistently avoided damage, almost never being struck clean while dominating. His record is proof: 41 wins, 31 by knockout, with 0 defeats. Paulie called this run historic and noted that Crawford's latest win over Canelo meant more than just another notch. It felt like the dawn of a new era, much like when Floyd Mayweather controlled his generation. In Paulie's eyes, Crawford has now claimed that mantle.
Flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special. It's one of those things now, because now I've now seen back-to-back generations of Floyd Mayweather and Bud Crawford, and man, you know, it's one of those things where now I understand why the people that lived in the Ray Leonard era say, you know, oh, wish we could see Ray Leonard against Mayweather and how that would be. Because it just leaves such an empty feeling when you have such special fighters that were in different generations, and you saw both of them. You know, I saw the entirety of the Mayweather generation. I saw the entirety of the Bud Crawford generation. Just incredible. Really, really incredible. And I know Mayweather gets a lot of hate, but for me, he's a tremendous, tremendous fighter. And Terence Bud Crawford is in that realm as well. And it's a fight we'll never get to see. So what are we going to do, you know? It'll be up to the fantasy fights, you know. But let's get into it, man. I want to get into the undercard as well and some of my thoughts on the Netflix show. But let's get into the main event first. Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved.
Brian shared how remarkable it was watching Crawford against Canelo, saying he had rarely witnessed such harmony between defense and offense in the modern ring. Usually, fighters lean toward one side, leaving the other exposed. Crawford displayed both at a razor-sharp level. Against Canelo, he showed he could shut down attacks with slick movement and a tight guard, then flip into offense instantly to punish every gap. Brian pointed out that this balance is what sets Crawford apart from many champions. He can cancel out his opponent's weapons while building his own rhythm. For him, it was special to see a boxer not only stay safe, but also control an elite rival with calmness and mastery.
See, I think that for me, I watch defense as much as I watch offense. So yeah, like I thought like watching Bud catch those shots off his glove.
He looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. He'd go to a body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem.
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo. Ever.
Yeah, he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. And Canelo said it. He goes, I couldn't figure him out.
No.
which is why he probably won't fight him again. In a way,
They'll fight again.
You think so?
The payday, yeah. But so you're gonna get Canelo because the money's in Canelo Crawford, the rematch.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it, but I want Crawford to get paid, so might as well do it.
Andre Ward gave glowing praise to Crawford, calling him the most complete fighter of his time. Ward, a master strategist in his own era, highlighted Crawford's mindset. If Terence decides on a goal, he'll go to any limit to achieve it. Ward explained that the only way to beat him is by truly hurting him inside the ring, because clever tactics won't be enough. Crawford's ability to switch stances, adjust under fire, and think with clarity puts him in a rare group who can impose their will no matter the situation. Ward's words stressed that Crawford's rise isn't luck. It comes from resolve, toughness, and tireless drive to conquer obstacles.
Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on is Bud.
Who's the most skilled fighter today?
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball, wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you got to really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So, skillful, yes. But this and this, it's different, man.
Crawford's story is also personal, shaped by his family's influence. He often recalls his father telling him he would one day become an undisputed champion, planting belief early. At the same time, his mother doubted he'd ever reach the top. Rather than discouraging him, that doubt became fuel. Every time Crawford fought, he carried the urge to prove her wrong. With each belt and each victory, he not only lived up to his father's vision, but also earned his mother's pride. Today, he looks back with fulfillment, proud that his achievements brought both validation and respect from his family.
My dad used to tell my mom I was going to be a world champ.
I told him we would be.
How'd that make you feel? It filled me with rage. And every time I stepped foot in the ring or anything that I ever did, I just wanted to win so bad so I can prove a point to her.
I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Could none whoop him.
You went out on the street.
Yeah.
What's now Bud Crawford Street.
Yeah.
And offered $10 to anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah, the kids in the neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop them.
What did he tell you then?
He told you, Mom, I told you I'm the best.
Reflecting on his career choices, Crawford explained he never aimed to be undisputed at 154 pounds because he didn't see enough competitive challenges there. For him, undisputed status should mean conquering the best, not just collecting belts. Instead of staying at 154, he boldly chose to move toward 168, where stronger names and bigger tests awaited to build his legacy further. His refusal to go back down shows confidence in seeking harder battles at higher weights, ensuring his career is remembered for ambition and risk rather than comfort and easy routes.
Has being undisputed at 154 ever crossed your mind at this point that you at in your career?
Not at all, because I'm looking at the landscape of the 154-pound division. There's a lot of great fighters, but there's not a lot of defining fights at 154. There's not a lot of legacy fights at 154. You know, when I'm looking at the landscape of 154, I beat, what's his name?
Majimov? No, 154?
No. The champion that just knocked out Tim Tszyu.
Oh, Bachram. Yeah.
Okay, so Bachram, they're going to say, who was Bachram?
Facts.
He knocked out Tim Tszyu that already had losses.
What you done with Fedora, though?
Fedora already been knocked out.
Yeah, he did.
So, along my career, I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate.
Crawford has also taken time to showcase the belts he's earned, not as meaningless boasting, but as proof of the years of discipline and sacrifice behind them. Every title represents more than a win. It carries the weight of struggles, setbacks, and the effort it took to rise above them. For him, standing with those belts is a message to fans and critics alike. Nothing was given. He battled through tough nights, doubters, and obstacles to earn every strap across his shoulders. Those belts stand as evidence of his hard work, belief, and persistence, while also serving as inspiration for the next wave of fighters chasing their own dreams.
I'm just reflecting on all my accomplishments at my mama's house.
That's where all my belts at. You know, hard work, dedication. Things that y'all favorite fighters, some of them, ain't got. So I see why y'all mad. See why y'all mad. Ooh, look at that one right there. This where it all started at. Right here. This one. In Texas. In Texas, baby. Don't hate. Just congratulate.
Virgil Ortiz Jr., a promising young contender, gave Crawford enormous praise for his latest performance, calling it simply beautiful. Ortiz said Crawford had shown enough in that fight to cement his greatness and that he no longer needed to chase anyone else to prove himself. In Ortiz's view, Crawford's legacy is already carved in stone, with nothing more required to secure his place among the best. Hearing such admiration from a hungry, up-and-coming star shows just how much Crawford's dominance has impressed the new generation, leaving them inspired by what he has already achieved.
Perfect fight, actually. He neutralized all of Canelo's strengths. He knew that he was going to look for the right hook, because I believe that they've been looking at Crawford being hurt by that right hook before. So he neutralized it. He used his jab really well. He boxed beautifully. And, man, I mean, he did everything right. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Crawford first, because obviously we can get to Canelo later, but in the post-fight, they asked him, a media member asked him if he'd come back down to 154 to fight Boots. Obviously, in the same token, I took it as, all right, Boots or Virgil, right? And he said he's not coming back down to 154. What are your thoughts on him not coming down, and what do you think he will more than likely do next?
I don't know what he's going to do. I did read something that said he'll go down to 160, you know? And I think that is definitely a possibility, and you know, that fight can still happen at 160. And as far as what he's gonna do now, I mean, I don't know. He kind of beat the final boss of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's kind of nothing. I don't want to say there's nothing to do, but damn, like, I mean, what else do you got to do? he's a 3-time undisputed champion. He made some good money. At this point, he's just a free player right now. I guess he can do whatever he wants.